Welcome to Cook Along with Renee. Today we're just going to jump in because as you can see, my kitchen is an absolute mess. We're just going to get right into cleaning. Tonight I am making a keto-friendly chicken Divan that's going to be delicious and yummy. I am also going to be playing music in the background to kind of get you in the mood to clean and cook a yummy dinner. Now this is for people that really need to clean their home and make dinner at the same time. Maybe it's not your kitchen, maybe it's a bathroom, maybe it's a family room, maybe it's another area of your house, but you also kind of need to make dinner right away afterwards. So what we're going to do today is I am a huge fan of Celtic music. I love Celtic reels and jigs. I especially love this music when I have a lot to do and I need to get a fire under my feet. It might not be everyone's jam, but it is my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here as I start to clean. And when I get to the recipe, I will let you guys know and then kind of draw you back into the kitchen if you're happening to be cleaning somewhere else. I just wanted to add in here real quick that if you are in your kitchen, a really good brand that I like to use for dishwasher powder is Azure dishwashing powder. I am not sponsored and I'm not affiliate. They did not pay me to use this product. I just love it. It comes in a huge bulk bag. It has lasted me forever, like almost a year, I think. And I wash my dishes a lot, get them clean. I have hard water. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. Thank you for that amazing product. And if you haven't looked into Azure, you should, because you can get items in bulk for a great deal, including dishwashing powder. Okay, so I'm just finishing up in the kitchen. It's been about almost 10 minutes, so go ahead and make your way back into the kitchen, finish up any last tasks that you're doing, and we will get ready to start working on our delicious keto casserole. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to grab our stuff for this baking session. You're gonna need a 9x13 pan. Go ahead and grab that out, or a casserole dish of any kind. You're going to need a Pyrex measuring dish or a cup measurement and a bowl, some cups. You're gonna need heavy whipping cream. I like the Darigold one. Some veganese or mayonnaise. Turmeric. Salt. I use my garlic seasoning salt. Go ahead and grab an onion and 1 clove of garlic, or 2 if you want it to be very garlicky. I have about, 3 cups of rotisserie chicken pre-shredded and frozen, and then I had 2 bags of frozen broccoli. I also have red pepper flakes and black pepper, sour cream. I'm not using all of that, but I just needed to grab 2 in case one's not enough. Grab cream cheese if you have any. I didn't even use the full 8 ounces. And then mozzarella cheddar, a blend, or pepper jack works. I like to pre-cook my chicken, so I have a lot in the freezer. I roast 2 chickens a month. Helps with prep like days like this. So now I am pouring 1 cup of heavy whipping cream into my Pyrex dish, or measuring out into my bowl. This is going to be our cream sauce that goes over. It's different than a roux because this is a keto. Now I'm going to take my mayonnaise or veganese, and I am egg-free at this home, so we do veganese. Do about 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of my motto. This is a bunch of recipes that I kind of tinkered together. I've just been making food for so long that I kind of am able to know what works and what doesn't. Now I'm taking my sour cream. This one's almost empty, so I'm just kind of scooping whatever I have left, which is enough for me. It's about a 1/4 cup. About the same amount as my Vegenaise. And now I am getting my seasonings. So I did about a teaspoon of my turmeric, and I need to refill my little bottle, but I would have maybe done a little bit more. Looking back, I probably would have done about maybe 2 teaspoons. And I am shaking it as hard as I can to get whatever I can out of it. So I'm going to put about, I think I end up putting about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of salt. And then maybe close to a tablespoon of my garlic seasoning powder, which has a teeny bit of salt as well. Adding some extra salt because I love salt. Go ahead and grab your garlic clove and a garlic press if you have one. If not, you're going to have to dice it. Okay, go ahead and squeeze your garlic cloves. It's my favorite way. I don't even use a knife. I just squeeze it with my fingers and it pops right out of its little shell. And then you're going to go ahead and use your garlic press or dice it real fast with a knife. And if you don't have a garlic press, and you're going to put that right into your sauce. Because I'm having a guest over and kids, I know my kids don't like too much garlic because it's a little too spicy, so just one for me for today. Now I'm adding my cream cheese. Honestly, this is probably closer to like 5 ounces of cream cheese, but whatever you have, use it up. Even if it's like 2 ounces, maybe you need to add a little extra cream or a little extra sour cream to kind of offset it. And it was pretty easy, just kind of push it down, mix it around. You can use a fork or a spoon, doesn't really matter which to mix it around with. Just kind of breaking up the chunks. Now that my sauce is all ready, I am going to grab a pot, any pot. I just got a big stock pot, and I'm going to fill it up with water, maybe 2 to 3 inches worth. Hot, cold, doesn't matter. So you can see if you look up just how much I'm filling it up. It's not going to be a ton, just enough to kind of heat up the broccoli. I'm tearing that over to the stove and putting it on high. So I'm letting that get ready. Looks like the oven is up to temp. And I am going back over to my casserole dish. While the water's heating up, I am taking my frozen chicken. Now, if it's just refrigerated too, that's fine. Go ahead and throw it in. I'm just putting it right into the casserole dish. I'm not putting anything else in there, and I'm kind of breaking up some of the chunks that are frozen together. Maybe if you have a pre-cooked chicken breast, you can just use some forks and kind of shred it at this moment. I'm opening up my frozen broccoli bags. You could also use fresh broccoli too. You just would need to chop it up. You might have a little bit of work if you don't have some of these things frozen and ready to go, but it would work for this recipe. So if you need to pause it at any time to get that prepped or go backwards, you can. Now I'm going to cut my onion, but realized that I have some leftover onion from my last dinner in the fridge. And it's already has taken the skin off of it, so it's perfect to use. I'm not going to use a ton here, about 1/4 of a big onion, maybe 1/2 of a small onion. And I'm going to dice it really fine because I'm not pre-cooking the onion. And I want it to cook in the sauce, so I am making it diced pretty fine here. So if you need to look up for a reference about how much I used, you can get a visual on that. Watch out for your fingers. Kind of do a rough chop and I gather it, get some of the pieces off my knife, and then I go one direction, I go the other direction. Make sure you sharpen your knives. There's tons of tutorials out there that'll teach you how to do that. Make sure you have a nice little easy sharpener. It makes all the difference to keep your knife sharp. Actually, you'd think it would be more dangerous, but it's actually safer in a way. Dull blades can cause issues. So once you're done dicing your onion, you could also have used a Cuisinart for this. You can just go ahead and throw your onion in there. And I'm moving the cutting board to the side, and I'll use that later on, so don't throw it into the sink just yet. I'm going ahead and just grabbing my broccoli. You can grab yours too. Your water's probably warm enough at this point. And I'm dumping it in. Even if it's not boiling, that's okay. It just needs to be warm. And you can use, this is the Kirkland broccoli, but you can use any broccoli frozen bag, or like I said, you'd probably need a couple heads of broccoli for this recipe. I'm guessing 3 to 4, but you don't have to. You could just add more chicken instead. If you had any old leftover rice, that's another thing you could throw in, but that's only if you're not doing keto, and we're doing keto today. Now I'm getting the Cuisinart out because I am going to quickly kind of break up my cheese for the topping. Nobody has time to grate in this household. You could grate your cheese though. So if you don't have a Cuisinart with a regular blade, go ahead and grab your grater. So I just have some mozzarella. We are out of cheddar at the moment, otherwise I probably would have done a blend. But mozzarella is really yummy for casseroles. And this time, I don't know if you've seen my pizza tutorial yet. You should take a gander if you want. It's a fun one. It makes 4 pizzas in an hour. It's pretty cool. I kind of had a snafu with my Cuisinart, so I really made sure in this one to, as I usually have done, break my cheese into really small pieces before I put it into the Cuisinart. No bigger than an inch kind of size cube. That's me handing a piece of cheese to my son. They always know when I'm doing the cheese if they can ask for a little bit, if they just happen to be wandering by. So feel free to share some with your family as you cut some up. My boys are literally always hungry. I don't think there's a moment when they're not. Common if you can relate. I dropped a piece of cheese. That's going to be for my puppy. For later. And I'm continuing to just dance away. Hopefully you're enjoying the music that I've added. We'll probably try to do some different vibes for different dinners, but this one's a quick, fast, upbeat dinner. So you can see I kind of pulsed it a bit, and it's just blending great this time. If you want a little more cheese, you can do more. I probably did about 2 to 3 ounces of cheese here. Or you could mix and match different cheeses if you like it super cheesy. I felt like the ratio is pretty good just because we had so much cream and cheese going into the sauce. Okay, I'm getting out a colander now. My broccoli should be done, kind of warming up. I didn't even put a lid on it because it is going to cook a lot it's kind of blanched already from being frozen, so I know it's going to just need to be warmed up before I put it into my casserole. I'm giving it a good shake, getting all the water out of it. Woohoo! It's beautiful broccoli. I love broccoli. Very good for you, high in sulfur. Good for the skin, good for the liver. It has lots of folate in it. So I had a little camera snafu because I'm still learning this, but I thought I was recording and I was not. So I'm just going to talk you through what you need to do. As you can look down, you can see the casseroles all mixed together magically. So you're just going to throw in your broccoli and you're going to throw in your cream sauce and just give it a mix. And I'm going to go ahead and add, once it's all mixed, add some red chili pepper flakes just a pinch over the top. Here I'm reenacting, there we go. Whew, tired mom brain. And I'm reenacting that. I did sprinkle some black pepper on there, and I did add extra salt before I put my cheese on. And I know there's, salt in my sauce, but I wanted to make sure that broccoli really got some flavor on it as well. Didn't want it to be too bland. So now I'm just sprinkling on my cheese, just kind of everywhere I can find spots. And if you're at that spot, awesome. You might just be still kind of mixing your casserole all together. It's movie magic. I wish I could have gotten a video of my face when I saw that I had not captured that whole moment, but that's okay. It's always another day and always another recipe. Okay, go ahead and make sure your oven is preheated to that 345 or 350 bake. It's okay if it's even 345 bake. And you're going to set it for about 25 minutes. Okay, so we have about 25 minutes to keep cleaning. You might want to go ahead and put all of your kitchen cooking supplies away. Put things back in the fridge. Seasonings back in the cabinets where they go. Wiping down the counters. Getting any dirty things like your bowl or Pyrex dish, your garlic press, your Cuisinart pushed over towards the sink. And once you get that all tidied up, or maybe you just want to soak it in the sink for somebody else to clean later, which is totally fine. You can go ahead and either relax, listen to the music, or you could get back to cleaning whatever you were doing before. Maybe you have a load of laundry to do, to switch over. Maybe you need to unload a dishwasher. Maybe you need to sweep the floor. I'm just going to go back to the music now while you do those things, and I'll kind of give you a heads up when we get closer. So if you look up from your cleaning ta-da, you will see my clean kitchen. And if you were watching this video at the beginning, you will realize that that is a lot of dishes, and there are some in the dishwasher as well. Okay, just grab out your dishes. We're getting closer to dinner time. I like to kind of get the plates out so the kids can set the table. I'll be moving them over to the table for them. Make sure to get any extra dishes if you have guests coming over. You can get napkins out, maybe some toddler bowls and plates if you need to cut it up for a little one. Just bring that on over to your table. Dance around to your music if you want. Maybe not with the plates in your hand. So as you can see, my kitchen table is a mess. It is where we homeschool. It's kind of our main hub and catch-all. So I'm guessing that even if you don't homeschool, your kitchen table may also have some clutter. So this is a good time to get that kind of taken care of. So if you are in another room, you might want to make your way over so that it's just kind of all ready when use a towel or paper towel, whatever you got. Just shining up the surface just to make room for more spills and crumbs. Okay, my friends, come take a journey with me. I am going to take you on a fun, kind of crazy, not secure adventure to see underneath my table. Yes, there are crumbs, there are toys. There is a ladder, and Bluey's dad is hanging out with us underneath here. There's some plastic pepperoni that goes onto a little pizza. all kinds of fun things. It's a little bit of a wild ride. Hopefully it's not making you too dizzy. I realized that I had screwed in my my tripod the wrong way, so it kind of flipped and flopped for a little bit. Living and learning every day. So here we go, just getting my broom out now. You may want to sweep up any crumbs. You might have a dog that lives in your home that takes care of all of that for you, or at least a majority of it. So here we go, just go ahead and start sweeping away if needed. Woohoo! I finished sweeping, hopefully I didn't scare anyone, my kitchen floor and kind of my dining room, I guess you'd call it. Kind of have just a big, long, narrow home. So it's all kind of in one big, long rectangle. So I'm just throwing away the crumbs that I swept up. And I can smell that casserole. I hope you can too. Just a second here, we're gonna go over and check on it, so kind of wrap up anything you're working on. So here we go, we're taking a look. And it looks to be done. It's about 5 minutes left. So at about 3 minutes is when I ended up pulling it out, so 2 minutes had gone by. But as long as it looks like, you don't want the cheese to be too burnt. The cheese is pretty melted and brown in some places. Maybe the tops of broccoli are showing through. Here's a good view for those of you wanting to know what that looks like. And there you have it. So just serve that up, wait 10 minutes, and you're good to go. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you liked what you saw for more recipes. And I'll just leave some videos here and here of my kind of newest videos if you want to take a look for maybe tomorrow's dinner. Thanks. Bye.